Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome, one and all. And things are just coming together like nobody's business. In fact, not only are things coming together, they're coming together perfectly. And, you know, in Trump's first term, you know, he wanted to drain the swamp, but we didn't really, it was a different swamp. I mean, we knew what, you know, the swamp's still the D.C. swamp. That's where the term the swamp comes from, because it was built on a swamp. But what I mean by that is we thought that when President Trump was running in the first campaign and he was talking about draining the swamp, they hadn't, you know, he wasn't aware of all this lawfare. When he was talking about draining the swamp, he was talking about corrupt public officials, in particular the tariffs, by the way, right? The import-export taxes, the tariffs. When President Trump in the first campaign was talking about draining the swamp, he was talking about corrupt politicians who have sold our country out to everybody with tariffs, the Clinton uranium deal with Russia, all those things. And he's doing that and draining the swamp of that. There's no doubt about it. But everything that's been going on lately in the news, all this decade-long lawfare, he's draining the swamp from the deep state and the lawfare people, the lawfare criminals. And this is deep, deep stuff. And what we have going on here now is at a level that if you would have told us, if you would have gone back in time to the first campaign and said, you know, I could see the future and they're going to try to shoot Trump at the golf course. Before that, they're going to shoot him in Butler. They're going to arrest him. They're going to have a mugshot. He's going to get arrested like 3 or 4 times. You wouldn't have believed it. You really would not have believed it. The things that they're doing and have done that we're finding out now through through Kash Patel and Dan Bongino is absolutely amazing. And the Trump administration, without question, is the most transparent presidential administration in the history of the United States. Everything they're doing, they're declassifying and releasing to both the Justice Department, to the Congress, and to the people of the United States. And this swamp drain, I want to play this clip, and then we'll talk about it. President Trump was at the Kennedy Center today making those announcements about the Kennedy Center honors, which I think for the first time in my life, I'm going to be interested in the Kennedy Center honors and watch that television show. But President Trump, in his speech today, he took some questions and stuff. He started talking a little bit about the lawfare, looked over directly at Pam Bondi. Listen.
With them great, actually. We had the Russia. I had to go through the Russia hoax, and it was actually it was a strain on the relationship. I actually told them. I said, you know, they got this phony investigation going on, Russia, totally phony, created by Adam Schiff, Shifty Schiff, and Hillary Clinton, and the whole group of them. And it made it very dangerous for our country because I was unable to really deal with Russia the way we should have been. I'm looking at Pam because I hope something's going to be done about it. These people put our country at great danger.
Okay. And he pointed at Pam, very friendly at Pam Bondi. Now, in the first campaign, when people were talking about lock her up, they were not talking about locking her up for what we're dealing with now. They were talking about locking her up for that private server that she had with the classified documents on it, the beach bit, it's hard to say, the beach bit, taking hammers to her phones. But more so than even that, when they were talking about locking her up, it was the uranium deal. And Hillary Clinton, as Secretary of State, because Secretary of State had to sign off on this, uranium is what you need to weaponize nuclear weapons. Hillary Clinton authorized giving 20% of United States uranium deposits to Russia. Now, they did it through a laundering process of a Canadian company, but they went to Russia. So right now, Russia has nuclear weapons pointed at the United States that are weaponized with American uranium, courtesy of Hillary Clinton. And I'm sure there was some big donations made to the Clinton Foundation in exchange for that. So when they were talking about lock her up in the first campaign, they were talking about the uranium deal, the things with the servers and such. What we're talking about now is deeper than all of this, okay? Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and of course Tulsi Gabbard and others in the Trump administration have been releasing in really a chronological storytelling form all these documents detailing the crimes of Hillary Clinton, Adam Schiff, the latest is on Comey, Brennan, Clapper, Obama, and others. And this is a big freaking deal. There was a big drop today about Comey, which I'll get to in a minute. I'll give you the capsulized version of what came about with Schiff, because President Trump's talking about Schiff and Hillary and Comey in this message today. John Solomon from Just the News is the lead reporter covering all of this. Yeah, there were some other things like Benghazi and stuff. If I went through all the things that all the crimes of the Clintons up till the first Trump campaign, it would take up the whole show. You guys get the, but they weren't talking about what's going on now because we didn't know about all this. So John Solomon at Just the News is the lead reporter who is reporting on all of this. And I'm following him. So if you go to Just the News, you'll get it. And I know the last few nights he's gone on Hannity. He's been putting the stories up earlier in the day, late in the afternoon on justthenews.com before he goes on Hannity. So, I mean, and he is, I'm calling him the Woodward and Bernstein of this big scandal that's going on. He's the main reporter, except he's a real investigative reporter. And he's obviously being handed things, all of this information, by the Trump administration directly because they want this information out. So the first major thing that dropped this week, and again, this is not everything that's going on, but this is just the last 2 or 3 days I'm talking about now because this is just massive stuff. With Adam Schiff, when he was still in the House, because he's in the Senate now, but when he was in the House during the first campaign, he had an entire staff, and he talked about this openly in the staff meetings, of giving classified information to the media to do damage to Trump. He told everybody that they were giving out classified information. And we found out, according to all these documents that Pam Bondi and Kash Patel have declassified, given to Congress and all, and the grand juries, that he did this illegal, highly illegal act with a promise from Hillary Clinton that when she won, if he committed these illegal things, leaking classified information to the media to damage President Trump, when she won the presidential election, she promised to make him the director of the CIA. That was in John Solomon's reporting this week. And also what came out in regards to Schiff. And notice all this stuff, you got to assume there are allegations. It's in the documents. You got to assume it's true, because have you seen Adam Schiff on TV the last 2 days denying this? No. And no one likes being on television more than Adam Schiff. No doubt about it. So there was a whistleblower about 8 years ago who came forward to the FBI. They're from the intelligence community. We don't have their name or what agency. And he told the FBI what Schiff was doing, which was a crime. They did nothing. They sat on it. This is the Comey, McCabe, and all those jokers. Not only do we have this whistleblower who is a Democrat, but there is a secondary source who was involved in this, who has corroborated everything the whistleblower has said. And they're a Republican, so it's a bipartisan thing. Now, it's very much more detailed, and if you watch my live stream from yesterday morning here on YouTube from the radio, I go through the entire story about Schiff in this in every single detail. He's going to prison. He is facing 20 years for every document he leaked that was illegal to the press. I mean, this is huge. And him not being out on TV, this is unheard of for this guy with his smug, condescending tone. So yesterday, late in the afternoon, the Comey drop happened. Comey had an old friend working for him who was not an FBI agent, but inside the FBI, who was at Comey's order and direction, was taking classified information and giving it to a reporter at the New York Times to damage Trump. This story, and by the way, not only did I talk about this in detail, this Comey story this morning on my live stream, so you can go through it and watch the whole thing. All the articles on these issues that I'm talking about are on my X. So if you follow me on X, the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, Brian Craig Show on X, you'll see all the sourcing for all of this. So Comey had his friend inside the FBI taking classified information and illegally giving it to a particular New York Times reporter. These are crimes by both of them, by the way, by Comey and the guy he had working at the FBI who was not an FBI agent, who was, doing these illegal acts. And Adam Schiff and Comey did not have the authority to give classified information to civilians like this. This is high-level stuff. And in Comey's case, it's 100% treason because he was doing it while President Trump was in his first term and was the commander-in-chief. We have all the documents. In fact, in the Comey case, they even have the listed in the documents the stories in the different publications, New York Times, Washington Post, and Wall Street Journal, where the leaked information was, with the headlines and the dates and everything. And interestingly about it, the web gets wider. The New York Times reporter that Comey was illegally giving classified information to, who won 2 Pulitzer Prizes in part because of this crime, is the husband of the MSNBC anchor. I just forgot her name. Kathy, what's her name? The MSNBC anchor. I just forgot her name. Oh, my wife can't hear me. Oh boy. The woman that's on in the afternoons that worked for John McCain. There's so many. What's her name? Nicole Wallace. Yes. Okay. So the reporter at the New York, I just learned this part this morning. This was huge. The reporter that Comey was illegally leaking classified information for, committing treason with, at the New York Times, is the husband of Nicole Wallace at MSNBC. And Nicole Wallace, let me pull this up. Let me see if I can find this, because I was watching this clip of her. Let me pull this up. This is crazy. Nicole Wallace here. This is her the other day reporting, and she looks freaked out. This is her this week reporting on this.
Some more news breaking this hour to tell you about. Attorney General Pam Bondi has ordered a grand jury investigation into the so-called Russiagate conspiracy allegations made by the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard. A senior Trump administration official confirms to NBC News. That investigation was first reported by Fox News. These are unsubstantiated and largely debunked allegations by the...
Why? Because she says so? Notice how she's already doing the defense for her husband.
Tulsi Gabbard, a senior Trump administration official, confirms to NBC News. That investigation was first reported by Fox News. These are unsubstantiated and largely debunked allegations by the Trump administration that former President Barack Obama and his aides in the intelligence community ordered a probe into the 2016 Trump campaign's connections to Russia to ruin his chances of becoming president. The source tells NBC News that a letter signed by Pam Bondi instructs an unnamed federal prosecutor to begin presenting evidence to secure potential indictments, although it is unclear what the charges would be and exactly who the grand jury will be targeting. We'll stay on top of that story. Thank you for letting us into your homes. We are always...
Okay. Now, the thing about now her husband was the New York Times reporter receiving the classified information, Complete Crimes by Comey. Her husband, as a reporter, this is a crazy thing. This happened with the Pentagon. You guys can look up about the Pentagon Papers back in the 70s during the Vietnam War. Classified information from the Pentagon was given to the Washington Post. And the government's position was they have classified intel, they're breaking the law, they're committing treason. The Supreme Court ruled on the case that while it is illegal for someone in the government or anyone to take classified information and give it to members of the media, it is not illegal for the media to possess or publish classified information. I know that sounds nuts, doesn't it? But it's true. So based on what we know, Nicole Wallace's husband hasn't committed a crime that can be prosecuted, but she seems pretty freaked out to me. So what is she so freaked out about if her husband has the Pentagon Papers defense going for him? I don't know. Is there something else in play here? But Nicole Wallace obviously is not feeling well and is very upset about this. So a lot has happened, and a lot of people are saying, when are there going to be the arrest? When's it going to happen? Nothing's happening. Everything's happening. Okay? We got earlier in the week, and I think this might have been at the end of last week, so much has been going on. My mom, I can't keep the days straight anymore because it's just been nonstop news drops on this for the last couple of weeks. But within the last few days, it was end of last week, it was announced a couple things. Pam Bondi has grand juries, plural, in place. And John Solomon's reporting that the main grand jury in all of this is at the federal courthouse in Fort Pierce, Florida. This is very significant, and I'll tell you why. Fort Pierce, Florida is in St. Lucie County, Florida. It has the most MAGA conservative jury pool in Florida, and this is a solid MAGA state, right? That courthouse is Judge Eileen Cannon's courtroom, who tossed out the documents case against Trump with the Mar-a-Lago break-in. It's also her courtroom there is where the second Trump assassin from the golf course is facing trial. So it's not an accident. They did some grand jury shopping. So the grand juries are in place. And they might already have indictments. These grand juries are secret. When they're high-level cases, they oftentimes have secret indictments, and you don't find out about it until they do the arresting. So just enough of the panicking stuff. Don't be panicking, okay? Everything is happening, and it's happening at warp speed, literally. Not light speed, warp speed, like in Star Trek. It's happening so fast as I'm losing track of the days. It's nonstop. So I'm going to take our first break. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call in and comment on any of this, please do. The number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Looking for a road trip that's a little off the beaten path? From author Johnny Travisani comes your coast-to-coast tour of terror and the serial killer travel guide across America. Available on Amazon. This isn't your grandma's travel book unless she was in the true crime and gallows humor. In the serial killer travel guide across America, you'll travel from the foggy forest of the Pacific Northwest to the eerily quiet suburbs of Middle America. This campy 1960s style travel guide takes you to the real-life haunts of some of the most notorious serial killers in American history. But beware, you may never look at suburbia the same way again. Order your copy right now on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, hardcover, Kindle Unlimited, and audiobook. The Serial Killer Travel Guide Across America from author Johnny Travisani. And take a trip you will never forget.
This is Dr. Philip Appleton. You guys have been hearing me on the radio for years, and everybody knows whoever comes to my office, I care about you 100%. We are treating auto accidents. In an auto accident, there's a lot of things that occur in an accident. Anywhere from headaches, neck pain, shoulder pain, arm pain, elbow pain, wrist pain, knee pain, elbow pain, sciatica. People use the word whiplash all the time. That's it for neck pain. Come in for an evaluation. Let me look at you. Let me evaluate you. And then we can go from there. Auto accidents, Uber, and Lyft accidents, we do take care of, and also slip and falls. So you have any issues, give me a call or come into my office. There's always no cost for the consultation.
Call Dr. Appleton and take advantage of that no-charge consultation right now. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Online, AppletonChiro.com, and say bye-bye to your pain. From author Dr. Douglas MacLean comes a hauntingly beautiful story of passion, separation, and the mysterious threads that tie two souls together, even when everything else falls apart. The Last Whisper, available on Amazon. In the sweltering heat of Louisiana, a soldier meets a woman who changes everything. Their connection is instant, their bond unshakable. But when duty calls, love is tested across oceans, through war, and into the unknown. The Last Whisper is a story that echoes The Notebook's romance and the emotional depth of Ghost. It's a story of healing, memory, and a love so deep it refuses to let go, even when nothing is certain. Sometimes the strongest voice in your life is the one you can't explain. Order your copy of The Last Whisper from author Douglas MacLean on Amazon, available in Kindle, paperback, hardcover, and Kindle Unlimited. Love, loss, and one truth that lingers long after the final goodbye. The Last Whisper on Amazon. You've worked hard, you've stayed positive, and yet you're still broke. It's not you, it's the system, and it's time to do something about it. Never stay broke. From entrepreneur and author Joseph Rudakangwa isn't another motivational pep talk. It's a no-fluff, step-by-step guide to getting your finances moving, starting right now. Need money in 24 hours? A week? A month? Never Stay Broke lays out exactly what you can do next. No useless jargon, no confusing theory. Just real actionable strategies that work in the real world. If you're ready to start living the life that you and your family deserve, Never Stay Broke meets you where you are and gives you a way forward. Because mindset won't pay the bills, movement will. Order your copy of Never Stay Broke on Amazon. You're not broken, you just need a better plan. Order your copy today.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. If you're new, the Brian Craig Show podcast airs on all podcast platforms. Just search for the Brian Craig Show podcast and make sure you follow and subscribe on whatever platform you're on. Now, if you follow me on my YouTube channel, Brian Craig Show on YouTube, you can catch the podcast live when I'm taking live calls and call in. The number is 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, there we go. What's up, man?
Not much.
Hello?
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, boy.
There we go.
Another
All right,
winner.
here. Sorry, I was pausing your life.
Yeah, what's up?
So,
There we go.
yeah,
There we go.
I barely ever do these. I barely ever see them on YouTube. So,
Oh,
just like,
I'm honored.
So I think you're pretty hardcore Trump supporter?
well, I'm wearing a Trump 2028 hat. What does that tell you?
That's my assumption was right.
Mhm.
So,
Good. You can read? Can you?
A few core issues that are pretty important for me that are my.
Well, it doesn't matter what's
issues.
important to you. I got a lot of things on the table we're talking about now. This treason and lawfare is what the topic is. So if you want to talk about all that I brought up so far, okay. But this isn't the time for you to do your own show.
Pretty good one. Well, I mean, for me, I think talking about anything but the Epstein files.
Yeah, see, Epstein. Didn't I tell you guys Epstein? Yeah, well, get your own show. You can do a whole show on that. You can call it the Epstein Files with you and your loser friends, all right? We're not talking about that. Take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Sean from Massachusetts.
Hey, Sean. What's up, my man?
Now,
Give me 1 second here. Hold on 1 second here. I got to... Okay, I'm just answering all the phones are ringing off the hook. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's another great day. And the panic mode is set right in every call. Like these seminar callers, all day. I mean, this has been like epidemic almost for you. I mean, it shows you that things are really going in the right direction.
That's right.
And this is awesome. I know you like this. This is a great thing.
Well, it cracks me up that they, that they think if they say the word Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell, that all of a sudden we're going to go on some tangent and get off the truth that's going on. It's quite pathetic. But anyway. So anyway, Massachusetts, what's on your mind? We got a lot going on here. Let's not fall into their trap.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And you know what? I just seeing Nicole Wallace, the way she's squirming around. You're just watching her body language. I've been watching that clip a couple times, and it's just unbelievable how she knows this is going to crack open. And that's her sign of nervousness.
Well, what I'm trying to figure out is, why is she nervous? Because as I was telling you, because of look up the Pentagon Papers, guys. You'll learn something. Based on what we know right now, her New York Times Pulitzer Prize winning husband, even though he was accepting illegal classified information from Comey, reporters don't go to jail. It's like, remember that, who was that, Manning? Remember Manning with the WikiLeaks? Went to prison till Obama let him out. The reporter that they gave the stuff to didn't get arrested. Reporters don't go to jail for receiving and publishing classified documents. They should, but they don't. So what is Nicole Wallace so worried about?
Maybe there's a deeper connection somewhere. That's the only thing. But the least that things should happen is to take this Pulitzer Prize away from this guy.
Yeah.
All of them, all those people that reported on, as we know, that his name is going to come to the front now. It might be the first of names now in these receivers. I can't tell you one name of these Pulitzer Prize winners that uncovered. They got this for the Russians. All these things. These phony awards that they got.
Yeah.
I just can't. Now we might start seeing other names come up to the front here, and maybe for another reason, one reason or another, but hopefully for a very, damaging, because they for what they did for spreading lies like that, they deserve some kind of punishment. I mean, at least take their award away from them.
Well, they've taken gold medals from Olympians when things were found out later, right? It's happened.
Exactly. It's happened a bunch of times, for whatever, maybe they would have taken
I mean, how can you get a Pulitzer Prize for reporting lies? Hey, listen, I appreciate the call. I do. All right, so let me share this with you. This is also MSNBC, and this is, if you can see in the background, this is after the president was speaking at the Kennedy Center today.
He has made a lot of the idea that he is successful, and one of the ways he measures success is with television ratings, right? And
Well, of course, MSNBC doesn't want to measure success based on having television ratings, since they have none. They want to tell you that having no viewers is not a measure of success or failure. Yes, it is.
Go back to the very beginning of his first presidency, and he was measuring it by crowd size, which he exaggerated.
No.
So here he is talking about the Kennedy Center honors, which again are something that honors a lifetime of contributions to the arts, and which is one of the most prestigious awards you can get in the arts. And suddenly it's about ratings. There is a through line there, Peter.
It's called a joke. He was talking about his ratings on The Apprentice and things like this. That's all. And let me tell you, I have not watched this. This is, I'm telling you, I have not watched the Kennedy Center honors since like President Reagan. Okay. How many of you are going to watch the Kennedy Center honors this year because President Trump is going to be there with our international supermodel First Lady? It is going to increase ratings. If it's on NBC, you should be happy.
Well, there is. It's Trump makes it about Trump, right? We just had a military parade in Washington, D.C. on his birthday.
It's a lot because the Army's birthday is on his birthday. The parade was for him. My goodness. I think it was National Donut Day, too. Does that mean he was celebrating donuts?
He had a military parade in Washington, D.C. on his birthday. He wanted to celebrate, the military, but of course it was also about celebrating himself. He wants to be the showman at the Kennedy Center. No other president has, hosted it. That's not what their role has been traditionally. He wants all attention to be on him. And this is, of course, not surprising in that sense. He's a reality television veteran, 14 years of that show on.
Yeah, with #1 rated show on NBC television, by the way. And my wife and I have been rewatching The Celebrity Apprentice. and we watched it when it was on originally. It's better the second time knowing he's president. And you couldn't watch this until recently. During Trump's first term, they hid The Apprentice. Now all episodes of The Apprentice and The Celebrity Apprentice are on Amazon Prime, and we've been watching them, and they're spectacular.
Television, and he is obsessed, as you rightly say, about ratings, about crowd size, about proving his own popularity. He makes up numbers when he doesn't have them that suit his particular desires at the moment. And we'll see what happens. He probably will get a lot of people watching because
hell yeah, I'm going to watch. What are they going to do next on MSNBC? Go through the fake crime stats and tell you crime's down in DC? This thing about the crime stats, which we know they were cooking the books. They just got rid of the guy who was cooking the books. And what the left, their Trump derangement syndrome has been re-triggered in all of them, okay? They'd gotten to a controlled space with their Trump derangement syndrome. They had it under control. But now all these fake news people on all the different networks, they've just lost it. And if you're on hold, hang in there. I'll go to the calls in a bit. And what they've been saying for 2 days is, listen, the crime rates are down in D.C., which they're not, but they're down. So if someone has broken into your house, raped your wife and daughter, and killed you, okay, but the crime rate's down. So the liberals are telling us that there's a certain acceptance, a certain number of murders, rapes, and other violent crimes that are acceptable for the citizenry of D.C. The Trump derangement syndrome has overtaken their mind to such a level they can't even hear the stupidity of their argument. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Goodbye. All right. No, you're not on the air. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm Gabriel. I'm calling from Florida. I've called here before a while back. I was just going to ask a question, though, because today I was in class. I'm taking United States government, and the teacher is talking about how the government only cares about white, straight men.
Okay.
And
what grade are you in?
I'm a senior.
A senior?
In high school.
Why don't you tell me a story that really happened? Or did you have a liberal teacher? You going to tell your mom and dad?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. All right. Let mommy and daddy take care of it. Okay, take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. Dave from Arizona.
Oh, hey, Dave. 1 second here. My phones are ringing off the hook. Yeah, go ahead, Dave from Arizona. What's on your mind?
Yeah, Brian, if you could correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember, and I hope this doesn't come to anything, but didn't one of the Biden staffers pardon Schiff, or is that just going to be irrelevant anyway?
Well, when someone's pardoned, let me look about that. Let me look. Let's see what the status of that is. See, when someone's pardoned, that doesn't help, but them too much. Hold on. It can actually help us. Let's see. Let me look it up. Adam Schiff pardon. Let's see what we got here. Let's see here. Well, the thing about a pardon, yeah, he did get a pardon, wanted to verify. The thing about a pardon, the pardon, it doesn't mean you can't indict someone. It doesn't mean you can't expose someone. So that's fine. So what does that mean? Let's say that he's got a pardon. What could happen?
Well, I don't know. Considering it was a Biden staffer, hopefully it's irrelevant.
Well, if you noticed, the Trump administration right now, because of the auto pen, are looking to invalidate those pardons. I just saw that story yesterday. So there's no. It's a good thought. It's a good thought. Yeah. So there's two things. One, there's a move being made to invalidate the auto pen pardons, which actually may happen because Biden is suffering from hardcore dementia. And when you're suffering from hardcore dementia, you can't even sign a check, okay? You can't sign anything. And you can't authorize it either, right? Like, you hear me talk during the week with Attorney Barry Siegel. Once somebody is at that deep stage of dementia, they can't sign papers. They can't authorize power of attorney and stuff. You got to do that before.
Right.
So there is a possibility of that.
Mhm.
But the other thing about a pardon is when you're pardoned and you have immunity, you can't be prosecuted. So you no longer have the ability to take the Fifth Amendment against
So he's going to have
self-incrimination.
to tell the truth, and either way, he's going to look like a
Oh,
dummy.
well, here's the thing. If they bring you in for questioning, okay? Say you got a pardon.
Right.
They just take it away from the politics, right? You got a pardon.
Okay.
Pam Bondi has Kash Patel bring you in for questioning, and you lie. You've committed a new crime, and it's not covered by the pardon.
Sure.
Yeah, a
So
pardon
either
is
way,
for past, not the
he's gonna
future.
get it.
So he's got a couple of options with a pardon. Now the pardon could be
Right.
invalidated, but his only other option is to tell the truth, because he can't take the Fifth Amendment, or if he lies, they get him in a perjury. They call it a perjury trap. To lie to a federal agent is a felony. You can go to prison for it. So they haul him in
Looks
for.
like he's in trouble either way.
That's right. The pardon is no protection for Adam Schiff, because do you think there's any way, shape, or form that this guy's going to come into a court to a questioning by federal agents and tell the truth?
Absolutely not.
Correct. So that's a new crime.
I appreciate you clearing that up, Brad. We're just living in a MAGA world, and they just the liberals have to deal with it.
That's right. It's a MAGA world, people, and get used to it. That make a lot of sense to you guys? Absolutely, it does. Oh man, this is just a great time. If you're on hold, stand by. You know, if you'd like to support my channel, become a Patreon supporter. There's a link to my Patreon page in the description of the video. And all Patreon supporters, if you're a Patreon supporter, you have access to commercial-free editions of all of my podcast episodes, as well as access to a lot of exclusive material and postings that both my wife and I post that are posted nowhere else. Okay? And if you're a top Patreon supporter, you get your name on the screen here on YouTube, and you get a live thank you shout out on each and every episode. The names you'll hear now are my top Patreon supporters. I want to thank SFjr, Christine, ETW, Chuck, Pamela, Nick, Wesley, Doris, Heather, David, Maria in Texas, Alice, LeeZep, Shawna, George, Brandon, John, Frank, Dale, Tina, David, Laura, Rob, Wes, Sue, and Janice. Also, if you become Patreon has this weird thing. They have two tiers, a paid Patreon supporter and a free Patreon supporter. All the exclusive access is for paid Patreon supporters. So if you're a free Patreon supporter, you may be a free member, but you don't get access to the commercial-free podcast and all the other things that my wife and I post there. A link to my Patreon page is in the description of the episode on whatever platform you're listening on, or you could just go directly to patreon.com/RealBrianCraigShow. Patreon.com/RealBrianCraigShow. You call us on hold, stand by. We'll be right back.
Imagine stepping into your kitchen and it's filled with vibrant vegetables, fragrant spices, and the joy of creating meals that nourish your body and the planet. In the new book, Plant Powered Plates, Sustainable Plant-Based Pleasures for Every Palate, from author Bain Kalange. Available on Amazon, you'll discover 100 delicious plant-based recipes designed to fuel you with energy and simplify your transition to a balanced vegan lifestyle. From mindful eating and nutrition essentials to a 30-day meal plan, the author is passionate about healthy, sustainable living and has a love for simple, nourishing meals and mindful habits. He wrote Plant-Powered Plates to help others just like you enjoy the benefits of plant-based eating and shares practical, actionable ideas that'll inspire a balanced, thoughtful lifestyle, one plate at a time. Order your copy of Plant-Powered Plates right now on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and Kindle Unlimited. Don't you hate it when you buy something online and then you get slapped with a huge shipping charge at checkout? Not at MyPillow.com. Right now, enjoy free shipping on all orders $100 or more when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout at MyPillow.com. This is your chance to stock up on unbeatable deals on everything site-wide. Soft sheets, cozy slippers, plush bathrobes, mattresses, mattress toppers, pet beds. It's free shipping on all orders $100 $100 or more. Order now at MyPillow.com and use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, for free shipping. Have you ever read the Bible and thought, I just don't get it? You're not alone. The truth is, anyone can understand the Bible. They just need a place to ask questions without fear or judgment. And that's what you will find on Bible Answers for Everyone, hosted by Jogn. He's a certified pastor and chaplain. Whether you're curious about Christianity, wrestling with doubts, or simply seeking guidance, Bible Answers for Everyone offers clear, honest, and relatable answers to your biggest questions about the Bible, the church, and Christianity. On Bible Answers for Everyone, you'll learn, grow, and discover. Bible Answers for Everyone is for everyone, whether you're a believer, a seeker, or a skeptic. You can even send in your own Bible questions to be answered by Jogn on the podcast. Because questions aren't a sign of weakness, they're the starting point for understanding. Ask, learn, grow, and add Bible Answers for Everyone to your Spotify playlist right now.
All right, we're back. Before I go back to the phones, I want to play this clip of the president again today. I started the podcast with this. I want to play it again. This is President Trump today at the Kennedy Center.
With them great, actually. We had the Russia. I had to go through the Russia hoax, and it was actually it was a strain on the relationship. I actually told them. I said, you know, they got this phony investigation going on, Russia, totally phony, created by Adam Schiff, Shifty Schiff, and Hillary Clinton and the whole group of them. And it made it very dangerous for our country because I was unable to really deal with Russia the way we should have been. I'm looking at Pam because I hope something's going to be done about it. These people put our country at great danger. And Adam Schiff, it was all made up. It was a hoax. The Mueller report came out. They all hated me. They had 18 Trump haters. And they said I did nothing wrong. They couldn't believe, they couldn't find anything. After years of investigation, it was all a hoax. It was a hoax created by the Democrats, but in particular Schiff and Crooked Hillary, the whole group. And now we've learned all the stuff that's come out over the last 2 months is incredible through intelligence. And hopefully something's going to happen with it. These are people that put our country in danger, in real danger. I want to thank you all very much.
That's well, you're very welcome, Mr. President. So, you know, the thing with President Trump, let me ask you guys, when you hear him, and he likes Pam Bondi, no doubt about it, and a lot of things have been happening, but is he saying it's taken too long? You know, the last 2 or 3 days, Judge Janine's been all over television, and she's plenty ticked off, Judge Janine. She's ready to arrest people yesterday. So and she took the lead. If you notice, they had the press conference on the liberation of D.C. at the White House a couple days ago. And it was the president, it was Pete Hegseth, the FBI director, Pam Bondi, and Judge Janine. And out of all of them, Judge Janine is the lowest ranking of all of them. And at one point, President Trump asked a question. Judge Janine took the podium instead of Bondi. Did you notice that? So is President Trump letting Pam Bondi know, pick up the pace or Judge Janine's going to replace you? What do you guys think? 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, Craig. I'm from Austin, Texas.
Okay.
My name is Jay. Depends on your views on why it's
Epstein. Yeah.
I guess thinking so highly of Trump, or even just regardless on on a lot of political parties.
President Trump is the greatest president this country has ever had. He's the most popular president we've ever had. He's the most popular president this country has had by far.
Do you think, well, obviously he's the most popular president right now.
Ever, since George Washington.
But also, it's just the timing of, social media and stuff like that. It's he's popping right whenever YouTube, Instagram, and a whole bunch of Twitter is maximum.
So what? And John F. Kennedy made it when John F. Kennedy made it when television was just popping. It doesn't matter. There's always a new form of media. You know, there was.
Yeah, but it's also televisions weren't as accessible to a lot of people. Rather than
not in 1960, everybody had them in 1960. Okay, here they may not have had color televisions, but they had TVs in TV's been around since the 40s, man, since the 1940s.
But what I mean is just like social media kind of even just accessible to each one individual, even just
I have no idea
a
what you're
child.
talking about. I have
At that
no
point.
idea what you're talking about. I don't understand what you're
No, I mean,
asking.
I'm just-
I don't understand what you're asking, and I don't understand what you're saying.
I'm just saying, like, is there just like a reason?
Okay, why? Okay,
I don't know.
yes, okay.
Personally,
I'll
I don't-
help you. You want to know
Look,
why we love Trump
can-
so much? Is what you want to know? Why do we like and love Trump so much?
No, look. Do you mind if I just kind of finish my thing? Just because, like, I have a lot of friends that support and are obviously on the right side of, politics, whether they're in the oil field or they're farmers, and it's their lifestyle, and I get it. I just don't see the heavy reliance on like political parties to do
on
certain
political
types
parties.
of
Well,
things,
that's because
especially
that's
whenever,
how our system works. We have an organized system of governance where people run for office. If you don't have political parties, you have anarchy. You can't have a functioning political operation at a federal level without political parties. Do you work for a living, or do you live with mommy and daddy still?
No, I work for a living.
What do
I
you
actually
do?
cook for very rich people.
You cook for rich people. Well, that's good.
Fine.
Okay, well, so you work in the food service industry. Do you work in a restaurant or like a private chef?
Both.
Okay, so in a restaurant, look at this. President Trump just signed into law no tax on tips. So all of those people that work in the food service industry that bust their butts just got a big tax break. That's just one, but yeah, that's amazing. That's why President Trump is looking out for the American people. No other president has done that. Not like this.
I'm not saying that, like, there's just other things that are, like, that he's done has just been a very off-putting, especially, like
what?
Even with the Epstein files, whenever he
See,
used
bows
it.
to the Epstein. No, we're not talking. See, that is, these seminar callers, everything leads back to Epstein. And they think they're walking me down a path. As soon as I hear Epstein or a reference to it, you're gone. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? And I'm
hello. My name is Steve. I'm calling from France.
Okay, France. What's up?
Well, I thought that fear is a shit show. How about you?
What's with the profanity? I mean, you say English. You say you're from France. Where in France are you?
I'm from Lyon. And
Leon? Okay, wait. How do you say what you just said in French? You use some profanity. How do you say it in French? Yeah, that's what I thought. Exactly. Even I know how to say that in French. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling? I've been doing this a long time, guys, okay? What's your name? Where are you calling from? Even he laughed at that.
I'm calling from Florida.
Hey, Florida.
I wanted to let you know that I wanted to bring up Washington, D.C. I've been seeing a lot of videos lately of maybe packs of 7 to 10 law enforcement officers walking the streets of D.C. with practically nothing to do. Can you explain the cost of how much that costs and why there really isn't that much rampant crime in Washington, D.C.?
Tell that to Big Balls, where there's that gang of thugs were going to rape his girlfriend. He stood up to defend his girlfriend from the rape gang, and they beat him bloody and almost to death.
Bringing up 1 or 2 crimes in an area
What a weird
that
voice.
large.
Do you sound like a cartoon voiceover actor?
A cartoon voice actor?
Yeah, you have a strange voice.
Why
yeah.
are you insulted?
There's nothing wrong with that. That's a great. That's a great.
You've seen the videos, haven't you?
There's nothing to debate. What you're saying is absurd. I saw an interview with a woman.
No,
excuse
it's not
me.
absurd. Look it up.
Excuse me.
Look
I don't.
at the videos and
look at the
waste of
videos.
money.
I saw an interview with a woman yesterday that I played on my live stream this morning, and I think I played it on my podcast yesterday, but I definitely played it this morning. She's a woman who's African American.
You know it's not going to work, right?
Excuse me.
It's not going to work, right?
All right, thank you for your call. It was an interview with an African-American woman who's in her 80s or 90s. It was hard to tell how old she is, but she's very elderly. She's an African-American woman. She lives in Washington, D.C., and she said she has to make sure that she's home before the sun goes down because it's not safe. All right? I played this other guy, African-American man, retired from UPS. and he was walking around talking about how the criminals were gone. He was down the street from the White House. You could see the White House behind him. And he said, I don't smell marijuana smoking going on. And he was talking about how it's been cleaned up. They've arrested over 100 people already in the last couple of nights. They've arrested more today, and they're going to arrest more each and every night. This narrative that the liberals have that there's no crime in D.C. is insane. It's just a stupid position, and there's nothing to debate there because it's a false premise. I mean, this idea that there's a certain level of violent crime that the people of Washington, D.C. have to endure because some social justice warriors or some idiot liberal thinks that a certain number of murders, rapes, and other violence is okay is insane. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is, oh, shit. God damn, how did I...
Yeah, I know. You forgot your fake name. I know. Hold on. You're on the, hold on. Let me get you. Hold on. Oh, boy, these people. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Tim from Iowa.
Hey, Tim. Yes, Tim. What's on your mind?
So I know it's a little bit off the topic of what we're talking about, but I want to talk a little bit about the tariffs. Are you up for that?
Sure. Go ahead. You can bring up the tariffs.
Yeah, I was kind of curious what you think because I like the general idea. Just by the way, I mean I know most people calling in are coming in from far field. Lifelong Republican, but I really don't like the way these tariffs.
You're a long life Republican. I know. It's amazing how many lifelong Republicans they support Trump. They're Republican, but there's this one thing that he's just gone too far. I mean, listen. I understand admitting that you're a liberal Democrat or a Bush Republican, never Trumper, is embarrassing to you, but just tell the truth about who and what you are. Don't act like you're some big Republican that's opposed to you like Trump and all this except this one thing. Come on.
Do you really think that there's no Republicans that have some issues with some policies?
There's fake Republicans called rhinos. Republicans in name only. I like to call them rats, Republicans against Trump. The treasurer, I'm going to play, after I'm done talking with you, I'm going to take a quick break. And then after the break, I'm going to play a clip of an interview with Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, this week, talking about tariffs. But the prices have not gone up on anything in this country because of tariffs. The tariffs have been eaten by the companies along the supply chain. And in fact, some prices may go down because other countries have lowered their tariffs, which will lower their prices. Are you in shock? Not on the script? Okay, he has no response. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll hear from the Treasury Secretary on the tariffs.
Hear ye, hear ye. Tom Laporta here from Laporta Roofing. Floridians, take note. Ron DeSantis and the state of Florida have allocated $280 million for the 25-26 fiscal year to fund new grants under My Safe Florida Home program. This grant is up to $10,000 when you spend $15,000 or more on your project. This may include roofing and wind mitigation systems. Go online at mysafefloridahome.com and get approved before the money is gone. If you need help, please call me, Tom Laporta, 954-604-4602, or find us at laportaroofing.com. It's simple. When you spend $1, the state matches $2 up to $10,000. They send you a check. I know it sounds too good to be true, but it is. So again, call us at 954-604-4602 or find us at laportaroofing.com.
On the line, we have Bruce. Bruce is a client of Jupiter Joe Thomas. He heard me talking with Joe Thomas about annuities and what a great deal they are, and he went in with his wife, and now he's a client. Hey, Bruce, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Brian.
So tell me about your experience with Jupiter Joe Thomas.
A fine gentleman. We sat down with Joe, and we explained everything to him, and we brought all our information, and he worked everything out great.
The cool thing about annuities is your money's never at risk. You're guaranteed a revenue stream for the rest of your life, but there's a bonus, really a signing bonus, where you can make a boatload of money before you even leave Joe Thomas's office. Can you talk a little bit about that, Bruce?
Well, that's where I was surprised when we sat down. We talked about the bonuses, and to my amazement, it was 10%, and there was even another one that's bigger.
Wow. That's amazing. So you made 10% on your money before you even got back in your car.
Yeah, it was more than that, but it was great.
Listen, guys, do what Bruce did. Give Jupiter Joe Thomas a call. You can set up a free consultation either on the phone or in the office, and Joe Thomas will put together a custom proposal just for you. His number is 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999 and online at jupiterjoe.com. All right, Bruce, thanks so much.
All right, thank you, Brian.
All right. Now, if you're 65 years of age or older and a Medicare recipient, you want to hear this message, I promise you. Chapter. They're going to offer you all the answers to every question you have about your Medicare, and it's absolutely free. I'm going to give you the number in just a moment. The number is in the description of this episode on whatever platform you're listening to me on. And Chapter handles Medicare in all 50 states. You know, there's over 24,000 Medicare policies, and Chapter has access to them all. You give them a call. The number is 805-754-3033. 805-754-3033. You're going to get a live person, a real live person on the phone, and they're going to answer all your questions. You know, the average Chapter client saves over $1,100 a year. Millions of seniors nationwide are on the wrong Medicare plan. That means they're spending too much money and they're missing out on a lot of benefits. That Chapter rep, they're going to answer all your questions and make sure that you have the right plan and that you're not spending money you don't need to spend. And the best part is it's completely free. There's no strings, no catches. Give them a call, 805-754-3033. 805-754-3033. Okay, so let me pull this up. This is the Treasury Secretary. I know I have it queued up here. Here it is. This is the Treasury Secretary today talking about the tariffs.
Obviously, the tariff itself is paid at the port, but what if the producer in the other country has lowered their price to 10, 15, 20% so that there is no price change with the tariff? And obviously, our largest trade deficit is with China, and China does not have the same profit objective that other Western democracies do. So that is an employment agency, and my view has been that they would continue to eat the tariffs. They are doing that. So I think what we've seen is likely to continue happening. I also think there are probably a lot of corporate margins that got very fat during COVID, and now we're seeing a return to like normal pre-COVID margin. Obviously.
Okay, so there you have it. And he knows more about tariffs, and he's forgotten more about tariffs than any of us will know. Now, I want to play this. I did play this this morning, but I want to play this again. This is one of the D.C. residents I was talking about. This is the retired UPS driver. He lives in D.C., and he's talking about the crime that's down. And this is really fantastic.
It's a church motion. I came all the way down Pennsylvania Avenue this morning. So peaceful, yeah. I don't smell no weed, yeah. I don't see no homeless people. I mean, I came all the way through the southeast side, all the way down here. You see now I'm at the White House, man. It's quiet, yeah. It's a shame that it takes somebody to have to sit in your classroom in order for you to be in order, yeah? Because that's what it feels like, yeah? You got to be babysitted to do your job, yeah? Stuff been out of control for years. You got to do better, yeah?
See, I mean, and this guy's there. He lives there, all right? He knows a little bit more than these troll callers and these lying fake news people in their security safe studios.
Got to do better, yeah? And mainly, young, you got the problems. It's us, man. It's always us giving everybody a bad name, yeah? We'll see how long this lasts, yeah? How many murders was it last night? How many carjackings was it last night?
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me. And y'all keep on posting all these data numbers and things of that nature that y'all see everybody else reposting. The stuff that came from the Metropolitan Police Department and the mayor, you know. Let me tell you something, you know. Let me tell you something. You can't be that stupid. You can't be, man. Who enters that information to get that data analysis, you know? People do. You can enter whatever numbers you want to make whatever report show what, but you can't hide the crime, young. You can't do it. Let me give you something to break it down to you for those that don't understand. I retired from UPS, right? So what they used to do to play with the numbers or whatever, we have mission packages, you'll have drivers over the hours. They'd go in and enter the information and the report would show whatever they needed to show to keep their bonus that week for their bosses not to fire their ass. So stop believing that stuff.
That's right. Okay, now that's one. Let me pull up a couple others because you guys got to hear these. I mean, because the propagandists are out there in full force. I didn't think I'd have to play these anymore. This is a great one. This is Judge Janine yesterday being asked about the crime rates.
Oh, stop it. We are putting all kinds of resources onto the street.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Martin issued a press release hailing the drop in crime rates at the end of it. What changed?
It's never enough. This changed. It's never enough. You tell these families crime has dropped. You tell the mother of the intern who was shot going out from McDonald's near the Washington Convention Center, oh, crime is down. You tell the kid who was just beat the hell and back with a severe concussion and a broken nose, crime is down. No, that falls on deaf ears. And my ears are deaf to that. And that's why I fight the fight. Thank you.
Boom. And she does the drop the mic moment. I mean, how many times do you have to hear these true stories and great arguments? Here is the woman I was talking about earlier, African-American woman. I don't know, she's in her 80s or so. And she lives in D.C.
We need all the protection that we can get in the city because the city is really getting dangerous. A person like me at this age, I have to make sure to come home before sundown. We need all.
Yeah, she can't. Who would attack an old lady like that? Well, these terrorists that are running our big cities. I mean, you know, I think we got to call it what it is. You know, these criminals. To me, they are not just criminals, they're terrorists. They're terrorizing the citizens of these different cities around the country. And, you know, this idea that, well, crime's down. The crime stats are fake, but let's say they're real, okay? So crime is at 100%. It's dropped to 90%. So what? And D.C. has been a high crime area forever and a day, and no one's done anything about it until our favorite president, Donald Trump. Here's Joe Biden talking about driving through D.C. This is him when he was in the Senate. This is Joe Biden speaking on the floor of the Senate when he was the corrupt senator from Delaware.
Driving home, my staff who lives here in the Hill reminded me, don't stop at a stoplight until I'm out of town.
Wow.
If I see a red light late at night, since there's very little traffic, slow up at the other block so I never come to a full stop except in the middle of the block. Because of carjackings. Stopping at a light, people standing at a corner, walking up with a gun.
Wow. I mean, that's Joe Biden. So now Joe Biden is part of the MAGA movement that you don't trust any longer? I mean, what are you guys saying? He was your president for 4 years. Well, his pin was. I mean, that's the way it is. All right, let's take another call or two. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, I'm Jason Virginia Beach.
All right, Jason, what's up?
I love what President Trump is doing in Washington, D.C. I can understand why they can do it easily there because it's a federal territory. Now, can he do that in other cities, in states, when they're under the authority of a governor?
Yeah, sure. He can declare a national emergency, a crisis, an emergency. Absolutely. I mean, yeah. When 9/11 happened, did George Bush need authorization to send fighter jets to fly over and patrol Manhattan? No. These are terrorists.
Great. Thank you very
These
much.
are terrorists. All right, appreciate the call. Yeah, I mean, we're dealing with terrorists. Let's be honest. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a couple questions on some of the things that you were saying before. When you're talking about the auto pen for Biden and that they would reverse his, wouldn't that, when a Democrat go into power, could reverse all the January 6th events?
No, because see, Joe Biden is not mentally competent to sign documents or authorize anything.
But what if we say, hypothetically?
No, I'm not talking about hypotheticals. Joe Biden.
Okay, then let's say this.
Okay.
Let's say that Trump leaves office.
Yeah.
And we find out he has dementia.
No, but we could see. Everybody saw that Biden has dementia.
We can see it with Trump.
Really? When did he last show? When it was his last example of displaying dementia? I missed that.
Displaying dementia? He gets people's names wrong. He gets locations wrong. He gets wars wrong.
I do it. Excuse me. A few minutes ago, I couldn't think of Nicole Wallace's name. I had to shout and ask my wife to let me know from the other room. You know, slow down for a second. Slow down for a second. See, when you are a busy person with lots of responsibilities like me or President Trump, as opposed to being somebody that doesn't have a lot to do and has a lot of free time like you, your mind's going in a lot of different directions.
Well, how are you saying that I don't have a lot to do? I help run a major corporation.
Oh, I'm impressed. What kind of corporation is that?
It's a restaurant group.
Okay, a restaurant group. Okay. But you're not doing what Trump's doing. When you have as much going on... enough. When you have as much going on as President Trump has, as you grow older, names and places and things, they just don't sink in so much, not because you have dementia. It's just your mind is directed at many different things. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's John in California.
Hey, what's up?
I just wanted to... Hey, another great show.
Thank you.
I have no idea how you can put up with these people. I don't know where the testosterone has gone in this country, but it's completely out the window. I don't understand how anybody can back people being abused, brutalized, injured, just having crime havoc on them for doing what? For living, existing, going out in the community, and they don't want people to feel safe. What is wrong with these people?
They're Democrats.
They're just... They must have like a brain cell that's gone or something, because it's just, or several. It is what it is. I don't understand. I just don't understand it. The statistics that everybody is quoting were incorrect.
And everybody knows this. And they even SC Cup on CNN was saying, stop using those fake statistics. Today, she said.
But you have mainstream media of practically all of the networks coming out and saying, even Morning Joe was coming out and saying that it's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And you still don't want to listen?
Yeah.
He did what he had to do. He's a man. He's taking care of this country.
Mm-hmm.
Get over it. If you
That's
want
right.
to change it, you can change it in 4 years. Other than that, enjoy your gas that's discounted. Enjoy the prosperity that's going to be coming down the pipe. Just get over it.
Well, you know, these liberal guys, and you notice most of these liberals are men. You know, I call they're often called soy boys because the soy milk in the Starbucks people believe has just destroyed their testosterone and made them produce estrogen. And I call them. I also call them incels. I learned that from Criminal Minds. Incel. I've seen this on Criminal Minds. They've had a couple. You know, incel means involuntarily celibate, is what an incel is. You know, not that they could perform if they had to when they have such little testosterone. But what I was talking about though this morning, and I'm going to end with this. You're going to be the last caller on the show today. But what I was talking about today is the reason Trump did this was because of big balls. Talk about someone with a lot of testosterone. He's out with his girlfriend. These teenage thugs go to rape her. That's what they were coming to do. You know, what were they going to do? They were going to assault and rape her. He stood up, they beat him to a pulp where he was bloody from head to toe, and they almost killed him, gave him a concussion. And President Trump said enough of it. Yes. And President Trump said enough. And what I was telling you guys this morning is there are several moments in American history where individuals have changed things, okay? And one of them, the first one, there's many of them. I'm only going to give you 2 examples other than big balls. The Boston Massacre, American colonists, one of them a black man, murdered by the Brits, by the British Army. That led to the American Revolution. The great, late Rosa Parks got on that bus and wouldn't give up her seat, no matter what that racist Democrat bus driver said. And what happened? We got the Montgomery bus boycott. Martin Luther King became a nationally known leader, and we ended Democrat Jim Crow. There's other examples, but big balls was that for this. The crime in these blue cities in this country has been out of control my entire life. Everybody talks about it. No one does jack about it. Trump saw what happened to big balls, who he knows from Doge, and he said, enough of this. And we're going to take care of it. And all these jerks can say that the people of D.C. need to be crime victims the rest of their lives, but Trump's not going to allow that.
I think there's going to be additional evidence of some really bad behavior on the part of the officials in that area, because there's no way that they can allow this type of activity to continue. It has to be allowed, and it's just disgusting.
Chicago's
and that
next.
That kid ended up coming to D.C. from college, and he ended up helping our country, finding all of this corruption and fraud and abuse, and then all of the death threats, they doxed him. I mean, everything that this kid ended up having to go through, and he still ended up staying and doing the job.
Well, you know, listen, are you how old are you?
I'm in my 50s.
Oh, you're in okay, that's okay. I'm in my 50s too. I'm 54. It's okay. You know, the reason I ask is you're old enough to remember 9/11 with clarity. And remember what the liberals were doing after 9/11? They were still as they were still going through the rubble at ground zero, hoping for survivors. Liberals were asking these questions. Bill Clinton was on TV and said what I'm about to share. The original Governor Cuomo, okay, the father who's no longer with us, they said, what did we do that caused these terrorists to do this terrible thing? They were blaming us for 9/11. Liberals always side with the criminals. Liberals always side with the murderers, okay? That's just the way they are. They're sick and twisted. This is, the murderers they support are, you know, they're different from time to time, but they always support the bad guys. And these criminals in these blue cities are terrorists, American terrorists, terrorizing Americans.
Well, Trump's taking out the trash, so
that's right. Hey, listen.
The liberals can just sit back and enjoy it.
Appreciate the call. Great call. Bye. All right. Great call. That's right. All right. Listen, if you're new to the program, make sure you follow and subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to. This is the Brian Craig Show podcast, where MAGA comes to talk. We'll talk to you next time. Take care.